Hey, what's going on, Guardians? My name is TheBlackLink, and today we're bringing you a video guide for how you can complete the Week 6 Ascendant Challenge. This is the final Ascendant Challenge before the challenge is reset next week, and this one takes place within the Lost Sector, the Chamber of Starlight. This Ascendant Challenge is actually much larger and much more difficult than basically all of the other weekly Ascendant challenges, and it incorporates many different facets of those challenges as well. So it's definitely going to put your skills to the test. Now, this Lost Sector is located within Rheasilvia, so once you've loaded into the Dreaming City, head on over there, follow the path that we're taking here, and you'll find the Lost Sector in no time. The portal to this week's Ascendant Challenge will be located on the cliffs with the taken hobgoblins right behind where the chest is. So make sure you pop your tincture of Queen's Foil, hop on in, and get ready to run. This week's Ascendant Challenge is going to be very much like some of the previous weeks, where you're going to have jumping puzzles and basically a big race. You'll spawn in the middle of this area. This area is called the Sumerian Garrison, and upon entering it, you'll notice that you'll be immediately surrounded by Ascendant Knights. You know, the big Ala Cool style guys. These knights are going to be chasing you throughout this entire puzzle, so get ready to run. Keep an eye out for Tolan's Orb. He'll pop up and you'll need to follow him up until the end of this maze. This part is actually fairly straightforward. There's going to be a lot of enemies, including Thrall, taken Phalanxes, taken Hobgoblins, Shriekers, and all kinds of other things that are just strewn across a gigantic race path forward. Your job is simply to follow that path until you reach the boss at the end. But there are a couple of facets of this that we should probably warn you about. Yes, these knights are going to be chasing you all the way through, just like they were in week 1 of the Ascendant Challenge. Additionally, they've also got checkpoints. They'll eventually disappear and then reappear in front of you. And when you get about halfway through the maze itself, they're going to spawn in without their helmets, which means they're going to start sprinting at you. So just make sure you're always on the move. Now, if you're fast, for the most part, you can skip virtually all of the ads within this encounter and just run straight to the end. That's what I wound up doing after I had gone through this for the first time. The path itself to the end is pretty straightforward and it's easy to see where you're going. Tolan will always be in front of you, showing you exactly where you need to head. So just stay on the move and you should be able to dodge most of the enemy waves that are in there. One thing to watch out for is definitely the Shriekers. Towards the beginning of this race, there's going to be 2 Shriekers that spawn. These things will lace you down quickly, so if you're not fast enough to get around them and past them before they can deal too much damage, you might have to stop and take them out. Once you reach this point in the maze, it's about midway through this challenge, you'll come across the Knight's second checkpoint where they start to spawn in without their helmets. There'll be a bridge here. If you take the path to the right, it'll take you towards the end of the maze, but if you take the path to the left that we're showing here, it'll take you to the lore tab that you can find within this world. Make sure you grab it before you head out. If you spin right back around and look up, you'll also find one of the taken eggs that you can destroy with the Wishender bow. But anyways, once you've grabbed that, follow the path through and it'll lead you to a short jumping puzzle with more of those rotating rocks just like last week. If you've gotten this far, congratulations, you're almost towards the end. Make your way through this short jumping puzzle, making sure to destroy the Acolyte eyes that will spawn across the way. And when you reach the final platform, this is the end of the Ascendant Challenge. One big Ascendant Knight is going to spawn, as well as some other minor taken like Shadow Thrall and a couple of taken Phalanxes that you're going to want to kill with the quickness. Your last job here is simply to kill this Ascendant Knight. Thankfully, you don't have to worry about those other 3 knights that have been chasing you throughout the rest of this puzzle. All you need to do is take out the taken here, kill that Ascendant Knight, and you will complete this week's Ascendant Challenge for the Chamber of Starlight. Now, it is important to note that when you get to this part of the Ascendant Challenge, when you reach this final platform, you're gonna get a text note that says, "The Watchful Observe." If you look up from this place, you're gonna see a couple of Shriekers sitting up above you. Don't bother shooting at them, you can't get rid of them, they're going to be there the entire fight. But there's something odd about them. If you stay on the ground, they won't shoot at you. If you jump around, they will shoot at you. Basically, you have to do this fight while keeping your feet on the ground. And yes, if you try to use the rocks by jumping up on those to stay away from the Knight's Slam, the Watchful will be very disappointed, and you will probably be very dead. So just make sure you're clearing out the ads and staying put on the ground. Just run around and use cover. It's easy enough to get away from the Knight, and if you're a high enough light level, you should be able to burn him down before it gets to be too much of a problem. And that's pretty much it, Guardians. This week's challenge is definitely a bit more difficult than some of the previous weeks, especially if you're under-leveled. The absolute massive enemies that they throw at you in the very beginning of this can make this challenge a little bit difficult, but if you're fast enough, like I said, you can skip most of the ads and just run along the path and make your way towards the end. Believe me, after you've gone through this area once, you're going to know exactly where to go. It's really not hard to see where you're supposed to head, and when you get to the end, it's mainly just about being able to DPS down the boss before he starts rushing you down. but doing that will get you your chest as well as completing your weekly Ascendant bounty. If you've done all of the other Ascendant challenges, this will also unlock the triumph for completing all 6. Congratulations, Guardian, you got it done. And don't worry, if you happen to miss out on a previous week's Ascendant challenge, it'll be back in rotation before you know it. But alright, that's it for this guide. Guardians, get out there, complete this challenge, get your triumph, and get your loot. And thanks so much for watching. As always, I am TheBlackLink. You Guardians, stay frosty.